Hello.
Hello, Guru Nation. Welcome back to another episode. We've got a former CRA Academy student who diligently went through the internship process. I think you did what, like one or two monitoring reports? I think I remember like at least one or two
Yes,
monitoring reports from you, right?
yes, I did. And consistently always watching your videos and even on YouTube and your meetings, most on Wednesdays on LinkedIn and other Instagram.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Cyprian.
you.
So Cyprian got a job as a clinical project associate with a very big sponsor, a very big drug company. And
Yes.
what was the process like, Cyprian? How many places did you apply? How did you apply? How did you network?
Hmm.
Kind of walk us through this because a lot of people watching are going to be inspired by you, and we're going to have links to Cyprian's LinkedIn underneath the video
Uh, so thank you. So what happened was that I had to place myself. First of all, you have to really understand everything about clinical research. You really need to understand it before you move ahead. So LinkedIn is one main way to connect and get people. Then I uploaded my resume on both on Monster. I uploaded it on ZipRecruiter. I uploaded it on Indeed. And so I was being reached out with so much other recruiting agency, while also I was applying directly to most CRO and pharmaceutical companies. So I applied for even the CRC role. I applied for any role. I feel like any role you should apply for all roles that lead to clinical research because they all link each other. They don't link up. But the main thing is really, really understanding about clinical research, the processes and everything, because you need to really know what the PI does and even the money from even what you do during monitoring,
Yeah.
what happens during the monitoring visit, the source data review. You have to just really understand everything because really the interviews are really something very rigorous that you have to really understand it. And I think that is it. For networking, LinkedIn is very important. Your friends too, you communicate at the same time, but LinkedIn is a very good way of communication and getting recruiters connecting to you.
How did you use LinkedIn specifically?
I have a LinkedIn profile, and I was always with so much. I was only connecting with so much recruiting companies. I added them, and I also told them I message them at the same time. Sometimes I message them just also asking, oh, I'm also looking open for work in case of anything they have, and they all reached out to me. Most of them reached out to me. I had a couple of interviews too before this came up on board. But yeah, just connecting, have a LinkedIn profile, and always be on your team towards consistent connection.
How
I
long
remember
did it
even
take you?
connecting
How long did it take you
with Dan as
from
well.
how long did it take you, Cyprian, from when you started applying with the resume I created for you until you started getting let's go the long one first. How long did it take from when you started the CRA Academy till when you got this job? How much time has elapsed for those watching?
Started the CRE Academy in August, and I remember I think I finished the exam I think in October, and so I started applying. I made sure I started applying by February because I had to consistently do the project and the review and also the IMV, and also I consistently had to study. But so yeah, I think from February, I started February, second week of February, and I got the position really like this month in May.
May. So for
But it
those
wasn't
watching in
that
the
yeah,
future, it's now
yeah,
May 2021. So if you started applying in February, March, April, so
yeah.
about 4 months. That's about right. This is about what we tell people. Now, before you got this job, how many interviews did you actually get and how did those
Hmm.
go?
Oh, I had so many interviews with some companies. They were all right. They were okay. Some of them I was waiting for their response. I'm still waiting for their response, but I've accepted this one. So I think everyone will have to go have a chill pill now. So
Yeah. What kind of
yeah, so
questions did
but
they ask you? Like from all the interviews you did, can we kind of find the most common frequently asked questions that these interviewers asked you?
the main thing is they try to know like what do you do as a CRA, and if they know you're an intern, but they try to know what actually do you do. So you really need to, and they try to, when they ask you that question, yes, they know that this is what you do, but they try to know if you can know the keywords which makes them understand that you actually know what you're doing. So it's like, what actually do you do? And they try to, and another thing is, there was one particular important question that really struck me, is especially like, it's like, if you have a site that has a problem, so how do you resolve that site, the issue? So I always remember that one thing I've done, always saying, retraining people, which is one thing, retraining the staff with the training log and all the and delegation log, which is important. So that was one thing I always know. This is very key way for people. When there's an issue with a site, you can say, definitely you bring the source. So retraining the CRC and everyone is very important.
Retraining is so important. Look, I'm here monitoring. Yeah. I know you can't see because you're on the phone, but I'm here monitoring right now. Retraining, almost every other monitoring visit requires some kind of documentation about retraining, either the CRA retraining or the site having to retrain, based on a CRA finding or something like that. So very good, Cyprian. I like those two questions. I think you're going to help Guru Nation a lot. Now, I know
I'm always there for you anytime.
Thank you. We're going to do another one too, like 6 months later, to see how it goes. But I have a few more questions. Clinical project associate sounds like it could mean possibly a dozen different things at different companies. So what does it mean with the sponsor, with the very large sponsor that you are with? What is it? What are you actually going to be doing?
So the thing is, another thing is kind of in another way, it's kind of monitoring, but at the same time, it's managing the project. So I'm working also. I have managers, I have supervisors who I work under. So what we mainly do is managing the project and also agendas. And at the same time, when there is an issue, we train at the same time. We're training people when there is an issue. So this is going to go under my supervisor. Is going to work. I'm going to work with the supervisor. I'm also going to work with monitoring visits when we go out for monitoring visits at the same time. So it's more about managing this particular project, which I had as a CRA too. I had also experience from a leadership role with my I have a leadership background, which I had to connect it towards this role too. So it really helped me get in this particular role. But yeah, it's all about managing the project and at the same time training people if there's an issue, agendas, meetings, and also keeping tracks and also orders of clinical supplies and any other things that have to do with the and also distribution of many of the informed concepts. So it's all about managing the project. I will roughly say about that's the role.
Yeah, I've got to have you come. I mean, of course, another podcast is great, but I got to have you come motivate our interns, because I'm looking at one of your monitoring reports, and you did several, but your most recent one, I saw you from your first IMV report to your second one, you made an incremental improvement, based on the comments I gave you. I mean, I don't think people understand, because I'm having this challenge now, and Chris is here with me. Chris can't hear you because I have headphones, but we're having this challenge where about half of the students, they're not afraid of the struggle. Like, doing these reports it's not easy. It's not easy to be a CRA.
It's not really easy.
Half of the students, the more ambitious ones, seem to not shy away from this. The other half, they're afraid to make mistakes. They don't even, to the point where they don't even want to submit their first IMV report. But the point is, and you're a perfect example, from your first report to your second report was a tremendous improvements based on the feedback that I give you. And I couldn't give you any feedback unless you sent your first report. You have to be willing to fail, willing to struggle, willing to fail. I just want you to talk a little bit about that so I can send this video to the interns.
I will really say, first of all, to the interns, I will really say, just give it your shot. It's one thing with the CRA Academy is that they'll train you, but you have to put in work. So you can't just say you're not going to write the report and you expect work to be done. I remember my first IMV report was it was a struggle. I remember emailing Chris and said, oh man, this is really, really difficult. He was like, just do it. So I did it.
I'm
and
looking at it
I
now.
said, I'm open. Yes, I said, and I'm open to any questions. I'm open to one thing about me, I'm open to learn. I'm a very curious person to learn. So I was like, yes, tell me anything. Tell me. I'll keep. And I'm gonna keep on writing about the IMV report. I'll keep on writing that. So because I want to be perfect in my own. That's what I believe. I have to be perfect in my career. I have to be perfect in my field. No one else can be perfect except me. So just try, give it your shot, and just do it and send it. You'll always tell you what you need to do to improve yourself, and that's what they did. And I kept on improving myself, and I kept on listening to what even the errors that they say, oh, you made this error, then I said, okay, I'll correct it. And I kept on looking through and said, okay, yeah, let me keep on correcting myself. And I'm not yet perfect, I would say, but I'll keep on growing and keep on trying my best to see how I can improve towards
and that's the thing.
Too.
That's the thing. Nobody's perfect, but it's a matter of doing it. It's a lot of value in the struggle. And a lot of people, like I say, about half, what would you say, Chris? About half of the students are okay with the struggle. The other half are afraid of it, right?
Yeah, I think they just give you your shot. Just give you your shot. That's one thing about it. Give you your shot and you'll be fine with it. One thing is they'll keep on training you. They'll tell you what to do.
Now, Cyprian, how difficult for those watching that don't know what a monitoring report is? How difficult was it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very easy, 10 being very difficult, was doing your first monitoring report? How difficult and how much time did it take? And what were your struggles?
I would say, first of all, I think when I understood, it wasn't actually difficult. When I started to understand the IMV report, it wasn't difficult. But for the first few days, you'll be confused, like, oh, what's going on there? How will you do all this? But it's actually a simple one, easy process. It's a simple process. So out of a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I'll rate it 7. It's very easy. You understand me? So it's actually very, very easy to do that because, I would say it's very, because one thing, it was difficult when I first looked at it. I was like, what's going on here? What's going on here? But when I sat down to really look through and I just took my time to analyze it, I think this actually it's not really difficult because one thing with the interns, I know the problem is they were not there to do the monitoring visit. They were not there I remember I always told you that I have to come to California to do the monitoring visit myself. You understand?
And you never did. You never did.
I never did. Yeah, I never did. But I just sat down to really understand it, that actually working remote is actually you can still get it. Just get the source file, get the regulatory, it's all on your laptop, on your computer, and you'll be able to bring that and just do your IMV. So when I sat down to understand, it was actually not that difficult doing this IMV report.
I see.
It's actually not that difficult, yes.
So it's just a matter of downloading everything, putting all the source documents in order because they're not always in order in our TMF, putting it in order, but you learn. There's a value in learning this, right?
Yeah, there's value in learning. Just get one particular patient and say, let me work on this patient and really work on it, and you're good. And that is it. You're good. Yes. So that was what I actually did.
In your interviews, did you bring up, like they always ask you about challenges, right? Did you bring up anything about the reports, or did it ever come up?
The challenge is very something leading to the report or something like that. So it was a different kind of question towards the challenge, but it didn't come up. But no, they didn't bring that up about the challenge, whether in the report or anything. But I think what they like to know is about your strength towards having a difficult and how you can be able to walk around it. That's what they try to know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice. And for the job that you got, how many interviews did you do with that particular employer until they hired you?
I did 3 interviews, 3 vigorous interviews. Yes.
Give me a breakdown. How did it go? What was the first one like? What was the second one like? What was the third one like? With as much as you can remember.
So, the first one was I had the first one, and they tried to know how they tried to just know more about me, what I do, and they collected my mission of looking for a job, and and they try to know, okay, why did I join clinical research? Why did I actually join clinical research? And so that was very important for them to know why I joined clinical research, and that was it. And the second one was there was a little bit difficult, which they tried to know how I was able to scale through difficult situations. Well, and how will I scale through difficult situations when there's an issue with a site? When there's an issue with a site, how do I scale through this particular issue? And certain things I do on my daily basis whenever I come to work, whenever I try to work on a report or anything, what I look forward to saying as because that's like a monitoring, or you're monitoring this particular, you're reviewing this particular informed consent, this document. What do you intend to see? You understand? So, which definitely, when I'm looking at a patient document, I always try to see if I can see any error. Even there's no signature, there's no date, even the cancellation, it wasn't cancelled well. I just try to see anything I can find out. So, and even after I try to even look at the SAEs and see how I can work. If they didn't put information there, just try to see anything I can figure out from there. And the third one was quite how what I do and my background connects to the role. So they try to know how my background works towards help me get securing the position in that role. So yeah, that was it.
I see. And what before being an intern, what was your background for those watching the?
I have a pharmaceutical and cosmetic science degree and a master's in drug discovery and development.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, I've worked as a regulatory with I worked as a regulatory, and then I moved over to product development with the beauty manufacturing company. That was before I then joined the CRA Academy, because I think the clinical research was something during the COVID was really prompted me to really join clinical research. I was really like, there's COVID, what are we going to do to solve the situation? And I was knowing about clinical trials is one of the endpoints that we need to really, that was the endpoint to make sure we go through this pandemic, to go out of this pandemic. So I was like, I really don't want to join the clinical research. And so I kept on going reading. I bought a book for clinical research. I started reading, and I jumped online on YouTube, and I saw Dan Safari videos every single time about his teaching. I said I then took his number from there, and I contacted him. I said I would really like to join your academy, and that is it.
Perfect. Yes. Well, now you're going to be an inspiration to everyone who is trying to get in. Cyprian did it. He went through the struggle of the internship, but there is a bright light at the end of that internship. It might be, and he said it wasn't even that difficult, but so he's in that 50% where they don't shy away from the difficulty, but it is a challenge, and but there is real value in overcoming these obstacles and solving these issues. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come. And like I said, I'm going to have you, when you have time, I'm going to have you come on to inspire the interns. And we'll do another interview as well, so we can all see you on camera. But I really appreciate it, Cyprian.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dan. I hope we work together too.
Absolutely.
We work together.
Absolutely. So we're always going to be connected.
There's enough knowledge to learn from you, Mr. Dan, and there's enough knowledge to learn from you. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, and likewise now with you too. And
thank you so much.
Once a CRA or CRC Academy student, you're always part of our network.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So we'll be in touch, Cyprian. But thank you everybody for watching and listening.
All right.
Connect with Cyprian, and we'll catch you all later. All right. Bye-bye.
We'll catch you up later. Bye.